Nils Andersson here, championship leader of the cross car here in RallyX in Flisa. I will let nobody pass me this weekend.
I'm the championship leader of Supercar Lights. Welcome to my home track, and I will win on this track.
P3 in the championship, and I will do everything I can to be P1 after this weekend.
I am second position now in the championship standings, and I will first after this weekend.
I'm Oliver Eriksson, I'm leading the championship now, and the Honda will fit very well for this track, so it's going to remain like that.
Welcome everybody to round 5 of RallyX Nordic from Flisa in Norway. It's only been a very short week since round 4 in Riga, and it's been a busy week for all the teams and the drivers. It's a very hot day here in Flisa. The temperature's crawling up towards 30 degrees. By my side is none other than Kevin Eriksson. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Beautiful place to be at also. So I look forward to this race.
Have you been for a swim?
Yeah, I have been. It was cold, I must admit that, but it was nice to cool down. Like you said, yesterday was over 30 degrees, so it was really nice to cool down.
Okay, Kevin, take us through this track here at Flisa.
I mean, it's a very special track. It's the first time we really have, RallyX Nordic here, and also supercars. It's an 880 meters track, a little bit shorter than normal tracks, but I mean, the track looks amazing. The elevation changes is, all the time, up and down, back and forth, and really cool track.
We are going to join Robin Larsson for a lap of the track, which you will talk us through, Kevin.
So we see the start here, and really special with this track is that the first lap, the first corner here, we don't go down left, that is the normal track. We go straight here to have a more open first corner. So the first out lap is like a really long start line, like this whole first lap doesn't really count as a lap, so we do 5 laps if you see it that way. Here's a very technical tarmac corner, and here you don't really see how much it goes up, but it goes really far up. Tarmac to the right, you want to be really close to the fence. 140, 150 kilometers per hour into this left. So basically here we start the race. Now we are on the first lap. So from there on we have 4 laps. Down here again. And now we will see here the Yorker will go to the right and the normal line will go to the left. Robin goes to the Yorker, which is gravel. Very technical, and it's gonna be, a key point to get that straight exit down and good speed down.
Let's have a look at the championship standings. Oliver Eriksson right up there at the top in first position, but it is incredibly close. Jari Kalliokoski, who was quickest in Q1, is second in the championship. Third, Robin Larsson, our winner from Riga. Fourth, Ulrik Lindemann, and fifth, Philip German. And as we are nice and comfortable up in the tower here, the commentary box, we've got some air conditioning. We can see a lot of people out there with the umbrellas up. It is way past 30 degrees, isn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, it's warm and no clouds, visible. The sun is only on you, so I see they were smart. They brought the umbrellas anyway.
Umbrellas, sun cream and everything. But Kevin, you're a driver. Talk us through the challenges of 30 degrees plus inside a rallycross car.
You always say that it's a bigger problem, but as you put on the helmet, you kind of forget how warm it is. You get so focused. Of course, the most important thing is to keep hydrated. Drink a lot of water. Even though you don't want it, just drink it because you sweat so much that you don't really realize. So I don't say you really feel it so much, but after the race is when you can have the big problem.
So maybe the drivers don't feel it that much, but how do the cars feel it?
There's also a big question. Of course, if the temperature is hotter outside, the start temp of the engines and the water and everything is higher. So for sure the teams need to maintain and keep the temperature down as much as possible, because these cars are extremely powerful. They get really warm, and if they get warm you lose power, so it's important.
It is time for Q4 supercars, and here they are lined up in pole position there. Oliver Eriksson, next to him is teammate Ulrik Lindemann. In the third position there, Jari Kalliokoski, Christer Dahlmans in fourth, and Mats Öhman on the outside there. And we are waiting for the ready to race. There it is. And it's a green light, and it's a quite even start. Pretty good start from the two Honda Civics, and they do slot into first and second position. Oh, and wide there for Oliver Eriksson. What do you think of this start, Kevin?
Eriksson was, very clear, but just overshoot the first corner. Now in P3, so the hunt is on. Good for Lindemann to get some fresh air.
Yeah, so Lindemann out in front there, but it seems to be, if you're a little bit wide, then you pretty much lose your position, don't you?
Yes, for sure. It's a lot of, dust outside of the tarmac line, so it's very slippery if you get out of the black tarmac.
So this 880-meter track, it is fairly short, and like Kevin was mentioning at the beginning, the first lap just goes straight forward. It doesn't really count as a lap, and then they go to the normal lap on the second round. And they're all contact between Jari Keliakoski, Ulrik Lindemann. They're all outside of the track limits. What did you think of that, Kevin?
It was hard to tell, really. I didn't really see the first incident, but for sure they lost a lot of time in that accident.
It just seemed that Jari had much more speed coming into that corner. Ulrik kind of braked a bit more, and they couldn't really go anywhere other than in each other.
No, for sure. And Eriksson was coming as the third car there and had nowhere to go as well. So even he lost a lot of time as well. We see there's a lot of sand now on the tarmac as well, so they're going to lose a lot of valuable time.
Oh, so a lot of drama here in the first race of Q4. We have Jari Keliakoski out in front, followed by Oliver Eriksson and Mats Öhman there in third position. Do you think all these cars got away without any damage? It looks like it.
It looks like they're all fine. Of course, there can be some small stuff with wheels and towing and stuff, but nothing major really.
So 2 laps to go then. And we've had Lindemann...
Keliakoski with problem.
So most likely from this contact then, Jari Keliakoski slows down, Oliver Eriksson back into the lead of this race. And there is Keliakoski passed by Lindemann, and he will also be passed by Öhman. Very, very unfortunate for Jari Keliakoski.
They win on the last lap. Eriksson with a 4-second lead for Lindemann. That should be enough to get out in front after he takes his joker this lap.
So Oliver Eriksson out there in front, goes into the joker. Oliver with 2 wins so far in RallyX Nordic this year, and there does seem to be some cosmetic damage to Ulrik's car, but doesn't seem to be stopping him in any way.
No, it looks like a front fender is loose.
And here we have the checkered flag. It's taken by Oliver Eriksson in front of his teammate Ulrik Lindemann. And Mats Öhman there in the third position. Wow. We need to see that incident again. Do you think there could be any sort of punishment there?
Really hard to tell. We can see now. Even start. Eriksson is very clear, but he just overshoots the braking point. He, small miscalculation, and he's, immediately losing 2 positions.
So close there in the beginning. A lot of contact between these cars. And Ulrik out there in front, but we're going to soon see what exactly happens in that corner.
I think this is a place. Keliakoski sees the inside. Oh, yeah. Pretty aggressive by Keliakoski, I must say. Be interesting to see what happens from that.
So it's up to the jury now to have a look at that incident to find out if there will be any punishment there for these drivers involved. But at the moment, Oliver Eriksson with the fastest time.
So Oliver, that was another really competitive race in supercars.
It was pure chaos, so to speak. I had a good start, and it was a bit miscommunication with me and the spotter there. I thought someone would try on the outside, but apparently I was clean, so it just went way wide and too much speed there. And then I was a bit lucky. They fight a lot ahead of me, so the track got slow with a lot of dirt on it. But yeah, lucky enough I win intermediate now, and Jari had some issues, so I'll take it.
And you're enjoying the track today?
Track is amazing. It's really fun to drive here. It's big slides and it's a lot of fun. So I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
So that was the first race won by Oliver Eriksson in front of Ulrik Lindemann and Mats Öhman, and we wait to find out if anything will happen to these drivers after that incident. Don't go anywhere, because we of course have another race for you in Supercars qualifying 4. On the inside there we have Fredrik Magnusson doing his first race of RallyX Nordic this year. Next to him, Andreas Carlsen, Daniel Turenne, who's had an engine change already this weekend, and Svein Roger Andersen there in the Volvo. We are missing Philip German in Q4. He is unfortunately retired for the weekend. And we are also missing Robin Larsson. Kevin, what do you know?
I see he's rolling up slowly now to the grid, so it looks like he's gonna be up right now.
So you can see Robin Larsson in the background there, ready to slot into the outside of this grid for the second race of qualifying 4. This is going to be an interesting race. So what sort of predictions do you have, Kevin, of how this is going to go?
For sure, we don't know if Larsson has a problem. He's late to the grid. That could mean that they haven't been able to sort some kind of problem, maybe. It's never a good sign when someone is late.
No.
Carlson is my underdog for the weekend. He's on it.
He's certainly on it. He is 5th. And we are about to find out how this second race of Q4 is going to go. Ready to race light is up at the top there. And we wait for the green light. There it is. They are off the start. And what a start from Robin Larsson.
Yeah, this is all Robin. He can go in pretty calm, actually.
Wow. Already got himself some air in the front there. Brilliant start.
Brilliant start, yeah. And also, you know, the guys on the inside get a slower start, so he could keep the good speed all the way from the outside. Oh.
What a move from Andreas Carlsen there.
Yeah, but they lose a lot of time there in the sand trap, both of Carlsen and Magnusson. Magnusson goes almost back, yeah.
So we see Andreas Carlsen certainly went for it there, but they kind of lost out on it, both of them. But at the front, Robin Larsson, look at him go. Came late to the grid, fashionably late, as we say, and just takes the start and just runs off with it.
Yeah, he has a big lead already now. But from the first heat we had in this session, you can see there's a lot of sand out in the tarmac. Robin struggled, did some, you know, he was caught up by that as well. But it looks like, you know, he has this under control. They were fighting a lot in the first heat, so I think we should see a P1 time here from Larsson.
Now, when we were in Riga, we did see, you know, how hard it was on the tyres. You know, the whole track was very abrasive. What sort of situation do we have with the tyres here?
For sure, it's a lot of left corners here, so the right rear tires takes a lot of beating. It gets really hot, really warm. I've seen some teams and some cars that has that problem, but it's the same for everyone. You just gotta maintain it and make a good plan for the whole weekend. That's what RallyCross is about, and that's what motorsport is about, to have a good plan.
And just to remind you all, you know, each car, each driver gets 4 new tyres per race weekend, and they also get to bring with them 4 used tyres. But I guess you wouldn't really want to bring 4 used tyres from Riga, would you?
No, for sure. Riga was really hard on the tyres, and that's the good thing. You can save the tyres from Höljes, from Nysum, to keep out a buffer of good tyres that you want to bring into the later stages of the season.
But I'm curious, like Fredrik Magnusson, it's his first race weekend of the year. What sort of package does he get?
Then you get, you know, it's his first race. He gets 8 tires. If he buys 8 tires, I don't know, but he's eligible to buy 8 tires.
Now let's sit back, enjoy Robin Larsson here. Just pure domination out at the Finnskogbanen here in Flisa, Norway. He is headed towards what looks like a very good time in Q4. Will it be the fastest time?
Carlsen off.
Andreas Carlsen has gone off into the sand, and he is going no further.
Larsson gets the quickest time in the heat as well. He beats Oliver Eriksson by roughly 2.5 seconds.
It's a very good time there for Robin Larsson. Good clean race for him. You know, as Oliver Eriksson was saying, that was just messy.
Yeah.
So obviously affects his time as well. Now let's have a look back. We see Svein Roger Andersen just standing at the start there, not getting anywhere, but Robin Larsson, wow, what a start. Coming late to the start as well.
Yeah, for sure. either they were late by purpose or there's some problem. We don't know, but to cool down and get the head in a correct space and really get focused, it's really hard, and Robin did that. He had the best reaction and he could do a nice round outside move.
It's incredible the focus that you have to have, you know, these very short races, and, you know, you're spending a lot of the day waiting as well, and it's very hot and there's, you know, issues going on all the time, and we're going to hear from Robin now.
Robin, that looked like an easy race from your perspective.
I thought I was going to the third heat, so I was stressed out in the second heat, so just put on the helmet quickly and everything and just rush out. And then something was broken with the radio, so I have no spotter or anything, so I just had to go flat out, and it was so much sand in some corners after the previous race, so it was not easy to know how much speed I had, so I was doing everything I could, so yeah.
And some big slides in that race around this last corner as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough on the last one, but I think it was good.
Thank you.
So these are the results of that last race, won by Robin Larsen, a fantastic time in that Q4. Daniel Turén in second and Fredrik Magnusson in third. So we need to get a car off the track, so a small delay here, but unfortunate for Andreas Karlsson, who was having a good run.
Yeah, really good. And it's a really strange place that he's gone off. It looks like, you know, he's trying to steer as well, so for sure something in the steering has snapped or broke, and he just don't have any steering. Should be easy to fix though, and be able to continue towards the finals.
Yeah, so because of us having 10 cars in supercars, all cars make it to the semi-finals. So, like you say, hopefully it's a small job for the boys back at the tent.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you're lucky by the car counts. Like German is out with the problem, and Johansson, after the roll in Latvia, decided to skip this race to be able to, you know, get the car in perfect shape again. So a little bit less car counts, but Karlsson has really done a really good job. I was really surprised, and he actually topped the free practice sheets on the Saturday morning there. So big improvement from Latvia from Karlsson.
Yeah, and unfortunate here for Svein Roger Andersen in the Volvo. We don't know what happened, but do you have any expert ideas?
Since he's standing still on the start line, it's gotta be something with the engine or electric. It looks like the car just shut down and he couldn't really restart it. So it's a lot of technical stuff with these cars. It's a lot of stuff that can break down. It's like a big computer, I always say.
And they don't have too much time either, so hopefully it isn't too big of a deal for Svein Roger, and he'll get out to the semi-finals. So we're going to have a look back at this supercar race. There we see Svein Roger going absolutely nowhere, but Robin Larsen around the outside there in front of Fredrik Magnusson. It's his first race this year. He's done really well.
First race in the supercar with RallyX Nordic. We see here him and Karlsson has this accident. They lose a lot of time. The sand traps, they really suck you in. But Magnusson as well, I took Karlsson as an example. He was really good at free practice. Magnusson was P3 in a couple of sessions. He showed good potential. It's the first time ever in RallyX Nordic. He's a regular touring car driver. The touring car class disappeared this year, so he's taking a step up back to the king class in rallycross.
Yeah, and another person we do have to mention again, who we won't see for the rest of the day, is Philip German, 5th in the championship. You know, he's been so consistent, so good throughout the season. Talk us through the issues that he has.
Yeah, I was trying to speak with him. I was very disappointed, of course. They've been battling some kind of problem with the power steering throughout the whole weekend. They can't really find the problem. And in the end they didn't really see the point in continuing driving, because without the power steering these cars are very hard to drive. So very, very sad for Philip.
we have a final for you, and it's probably the loudest cars on track in RallyX Nordic. It is, of course, the cross car. Plenty has happened there, but I'm going to take you through the grid first. In pole position, we have Jimmy Österberg. He is second in the championship. Next to him, Isak Egonsson. Second row, we have Martin Enlund. Next to him, Isak Reiersen. And back row is Marcus Gimle-Enger, and next to him, Nils Anderson. We have quite a bit to talk about here because a lot has happened.
A lot has happened, yeah. The biggest thing all weekend has been the problem for Nils Andersson. He still makes it to the final. He's the leader of the championship, and he's here. So
he is, and he's on the back row. He's got that last position there. He needs to get close to the guy in pole position. They have a green light, and they are off the line. It is a good start from pole sitter Jimmy Österberg, and no dramas, it looks like, in that first corner.
Pretty calm start. They all respect each other. You see Reiersen, which had a big role there earlier today, and he's P3 now, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, what a fight back in that semi-final for Reiersen. You know, just outside our position here, we saw the team, and we pretty much saw the whole paddock come together to help to fix his car. And he came out into the semi-final, and there were bits flying off everywhere, but he managed to get himself a final position. It's quite impressive that with the sort of motorsport family, how people just come together and they help with whatever they can.
For sure, yeah, that's what I like with RallyCross. It's like a one big family. Everyone helps each other. Quite even in the front. Österberg with a little bit gap, like he has this safe zone that he can do his own race. He don't need to save or anything. But Österberg and Reiersen are pushing hard to catch back up.
So, as Kevin mentioned at the very beginning, at the back of the field at the moment now, we have Nils Anderson. He is the championship leader. He has had some fuel issues. He's been struggling with that car all day, and now he really just needs to do what he can to save some points for this championship, because Jimmy Österberg, who is in front of this race right now, he is the second place in the championship, and it is incredibly close between the two of them.
Yeah, I did a small, quick calculation in my head, and as it looks now, I think we will have a new championship leader, because it looks like Nils has a problem and he's going slowly here now, past us here in the tower. So unfortunately for Nils, he can't really fight it out with the other guys.
Now, for those of you joining us, maybe for the first time this year, we have to talk about these cars because they are incredibly loud. Tell us a bit about them, Kevin.
It's really amazing cars. You know, they are 300 kilo and how quick as hell. On this track, they are the same speed as a supercar.
Wow.
It's a 750cc Suzuki engine, and as I said, they weigh 300-400 kilo is nothing. So the horsepower compared to the weight is amazing.
And some of the drivers are very young as well, aren't they?
For sure. I mean, they are young, but also old. This is what I like with classes, when you can mix experience with new guys, and they can all fight each other and be better drivers. Oh, someone went off.
Marcus Gimle-Enger just went a little bit wide there, but Jimmy Österberg, he went in the Joker lap and he did come out in front. It's looking to go Jimmy Österberg's way, and it will be his first win of the season if he manages to stay in this position all the way to the end of this race. But it's looking good for Jimmy Österberg. He is followed by Isak Egonsson and Isak Reiersen in third position. Isak, who we were mentioning, had quite a bad crash earlier, a roll, and he is back and looking to secure a podium position. The checkered flag is out, and it's a win for Jimmy Österberg, followed by Isak Egonsson and Isak Reiersen. Wow, I think we do have a new championship leader.
I think so, and he deserves it. Like Österberg really took over this race. He from the first heat, he controlled it. He's been the man to beat, and he just made sure to finish the business off the correct way.
He certainly did. He gets as he deserves. He's dominated here at Flisa in Norway. His first win of the season comes at round 5. He now leads the championship as we go into the 2 final rounds of crosscar. Huge congratulations to Jimmy Österberg and of course Isak Egonsson, and I have to say hero of the day must be Isak Reiersen and his whole team and the whole paddock. So I'm sure on his behalf we can say thank you to everyone who helped him.
Jimmy, you've had a pretty good day today.
Yeah, I can say so.
You've enjoyed driving this track?
Yeah, not yesterday, but today it feels much better.
And you're happy with that result?
Yeah, really happy.
Congratulations.
Here are the results of the cross-car final here at Flisa in Norway, round 5, won by Jimmy Österberg in front of Isak Egonsen and Isak Reiersen there in 3rd position. Championship leader, or the previous championship leader, down in 6th position. And this is what the championship now looks like. It is led by Jimmy Österberg, followed by Nils Andersen, who's dropped down to 2nd. In 3rd, Isak Reiersen, 4th, Julius Ljungdahl, and rounding out the top 5 is Isak Egonsen.
Paraply eller solkräm eller vad ni har, eller keps och så vidare, så se till att ha lite solskydd på er. Jag tror ni kan det själva. Och sen en annan sak, så hoppas jag verkligen att jag inte behöver höra talas om att det är någon som har några hundar i bilarna idag.
We are going to join Mats Öhman, who has quite a special story. He had a snow scooter accident many years ago, which left him paralyzed in 95% of his body. And Kevin, it's quite impressive what we're seeing here now. He drives a supercar at the highest level in RallyX Nordic and does it well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mats is a big inspiration for myself. I had the opportunity to work with him a couple of years. We drove together as a team, and despite his disability and what he have the most feeling of the car and car control that I've ever had. Like, he's the best test teammate you can have. Like, he feels everything, which is amazing. So for this year he got this new car, the Audi S1 from EKS, and it takes a while for him to get used to it. He can't test the car before he buys it because of all this special stuff he needs to put in. But so far I've seen the good progress, and here he was good.
What does it take to rebuild the car to suit him?
For sure, it's quite a lot of work. It's not only the stuff you see, it's a lot of electrical stuff. He has these hydraulic pumps since he don't have a normal steering wheel. He has everything is special. The hydraulic system, he has the clutch in the mouth. It's very special and complex, and to get everything to work with the car is the problem. So that's why he missed a couple races in the beginning of the season, because he couldn't get his system to work with the new Audi system. But now it seems that I've got everything to work, and he's slowly getting quicker and quicker, and soon he will be up in the top.
Yeah, he was in the final in Riga, had a fantastic result there. We just saw him off the start line here, and you were mentioning this mouthpiece that he has, which is his clutch. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy. So he basically does all the throttle and braking and gear shifting, as well as the handbrake on the right hand, as you see in this thing, and then he has a very short steering in the left hand. Like, normally you do 1.5 lap steering, he only have half a lap complete, so he's very sensitive, his steering.
It's just incredible. Everything is possible. Mats Öhman, not only is he in his mid-50s, but he's also able to drive a 600 horsepower rallycross supercar and does it incredibly well. So we look forward to see what he can do today.
Så jag hör att det är en hund i bilen idag. Så att det vill vi inte höra talas om. Jag trodde liksom idag, varför jag säger det bara för någon vecka sedan så var jag ute för det. Men jag trodde idag, alldeles upplysta, så om man skaffar sig en hund idag, då vet man att man inte lämnar den i bilen. Om man har bagageluckan på vigavel kanske, ja, det kan bli varmt i alla fall, tänk på det. Ja, här kommer musik, varsågoda.
These are the championship standings before the racing begins here in Flisa, Norway. Ben Philip Gundersen right up at the top with 105 points, closely followed by his teammate Sondre Evjen, and in third there Linus Östlund, Thomas Holman in fourth, and fifth Simon Olofsson. It's time for Q2 Supercar Lights. Championship leader and home local driver Ben Philip Gundersen in the black car on the inside takes the start here in Flisa, just in front of Linus Östlund, who's having a good fight there with Mats Oskarsson, but goes winning out of that duel. And here we see a close-up of Ben Philip Gundersen. Nothing seems to be stopping this man, and he takes the race win. Over to the second race. On the inside there puts Petter Norså, but a great fight. Sondre Evjen in a bit of contact there with Simon Olofsson, puts him further back. Sondre Evjen with a 9th time from Q1, so we didn't need that contact at all. Then there's a good duel there between Jimmy Valfridsson and Simon Östlund. A big fight for the best time going on here. And Petter Norså still out in front. Sondre Evjen has taken the Joker lap, and it is Petter Norså who wins in front of Sondre Evjen and Jimmy Valfridsson. Over to the third race. The start is taken by Hans Olaf Røshaug in the blue car on the inside there. But there is a bit of contact. Behind him is Lars-Erik Haug, Niklas Arneklev. And we have Hans Ola into the Joker lap. And in front at the moment is Niklas Arneklev. And he unfortunately does not take his Joker lap, so he gets a disqualification for his race. These are the intermediate standings in Supercar Lights. Up at the top, Ben Philip Gundersen, followed by Linus Östlund, Mats Oskarsson, Petter Norså in fourth, and Anders Michalak in fifth. So before the racing gets underway here in Flisa, Norway, this is what the championship looks like in Supercar. Up at the top, Oliver Eriksson with 95 points, closely followed though by Finnish Jari Kalliokoski. Robin Larsson there in third after his win in Riga, Ulrik Linnemann fourth, and Philip German fifth. Time to look at Q2 for Supercars. The fastest cars go first, of course, in Q2. And look at Robin Larsson there from the outside, from the third position there in front of Jari Kalliokoski and Oliver Eriksson. Robin Larsson fresh from a win in Riga only 1 week ago. Had a third quickest time in Q1, looking to improve that. He hasn't been testing here at this track, so everything is a bit new for him, but he's starting to really find the pace and the speed he needs to perhaps secure a second win. But he is, of course, under pressure from Jari Kalliokoski, quickest in Q1. And it is Robin Larsson who takes the flag in front of Kalliokoski and Eriksson. Over to the second race, Ulrik Linnemann with a good start there, but contact between also Magnusson and Dahlmans. Dahlmans trying to grab a position there on the outside, not quite making it. But Ulrik Linnemann, who was fourth in the final just last weekend in Riga, setting some great lap times here in Flisa, finishing overall fourth in Q2, making his way up the intermediate standings. Over to the third race in Supercar. It is Philip German out there in front, and Daniel Terrain in the yellow car there had to change an engine. And there is very close racing in this final race for Supercars in Q2. Svein Roger Andersen there out in front. And the two of them battle it out until the checkered flag. Svein Roger going wide there into the sand, but it is won by Philip German. So these are what the intermediate standings look like in Supercar. Finnish Jari Kalliokoski right up at the top in front of Robin Larsson, Oliver Eriksson, Andreas Karlsson in fourth there, Ulrik Linnemann fifth.
So Robin, that's a pretty good start to the day for you.
Yeah, we had a good pace on the warm-up, and it was a little bit wide, but I'm so thankful we took the start and just 4 clean laps, but it was a little bit too wide here and there. So, but really happy with the heat win.
And it looks quite dusty out there?
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't know if compared to the warm-up it was so much more drifty on the tarmac now, but yeah, heat win.
Thank you.
Q3 for Supercar Lights. The quickest cars, of course, going first. Ben-Philip Gundersen in pole position there, taking the start once again. Closely followed, though, by Linus Östlund and Sondre Evjen, who fight it out against each other. And big contact between them there. Unfortunately, that contact sending Linus Östlund out with a steering issue. Ben-Philip Gundersen, though, continues to dominate this race weekend at his home track in Flisa, Norway. He goes on to take the quickest time in Q3 and also wins this race. Over to the second race in Supercar Lights. It's a good start from Thomas Holman. He gets himself out in front while there is a big fight behind him between Jimmy Valfridsson and Anders Michalak. Thomas Holman not quite finding that top pace yet here this weekend in Flisa. Hopefully he can do so towards the semi-finals. He's under great pressure here from Jimmy Valfridsson, but manages to keep him behind him and goes on to take the race win. Over to the third race. It is Simon Olofsson who takes the early lead on the inside there in front of Niklas Arneklev. The two of them have a clean race. Simon Olofsson goes on to take the second quickest time in Q3. And Niklas Arneklev takes a fifth quickest time. Impressive for both of these drivers. These are the intermediate standings so far. It is Ben-Philip Gundersen who continues to dominate. Second is Mats Oskarsson, third Petter Nosso, fourth Simon Olofsson, and fifth is Sondre Evjen. Supercar Q3, an even start there, but have a look at the car in the middle. Oliver Eriksson around the outside. Now, Kevin, I'm wondering if you are the one who told your brother to make your signature move.
He did it really good, I must admit, so it's good that I had some influence in his driving career as well.
That was a brilliant move, and Oliver's been talking all weekend about being in traffic, you know, wanting to get out there in front and get a good round.
Yeah, for sure. It's so tight, these guys. There are 4 or 5 guys that are, just tense between them. So getting the start, get clear air, it's both better for the car, you get more power, because if you get behind someone, it's not only that the dust and being behind, it's also that you lose power because the temperature goes up. So it's very important to get out first.
And here we see, of course, some shocking images of Robin Larsson slowing down. He had trouble with the throttle. Let's see what he can do before the last qualifying. But it is won by Oliver Eriksson in front of his teammate Ulrik Lindemann. Over to the second race. It is Christer Dahlmans on the inside there who gets a great start in front of Philip German and Fredrik Magnusson. He gets to stay out in front and has some clear air, as you say, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure. Dahlmans, he really surprised me. He hasn't been in the car for a while. I know he's been here testing, so he have, really gone to do a good result here. But this is the best I've ever seen him drive, so really, really happy for Christer.
Yeah, and Christer goes on to win this race and also takes the 4th quickest time in Q3, really promoting himself up the order for the intermediate standings. Now over to race 3, the middle car there, Mats Öhman has a brilliant start and he's been making some upgrades to his starting procedure.
Yes, for sure. As we all know, as we saw before, he has some special stuff to do in the start, and it's not easy for him either to remember everything, To add another thing to do with the mouth is just hard at. I think
This is what the intermediate standings look like for Supercar here at Flisa in Norway. Oliver Eriksson right up at the top in front of Robin Larsson, Ulrik Lindemann in third, Mats Öhman in 4th position, and Christer Dahlmans there in 5th. And the championship looks like this. Oliver Eriksson still leading in front of Robin Larsson, who's moved up into 2nd position. Jari Keliakoski down into 3rd, 4th Ulrik Lindemann, and 5th Philip German, who unfortunately has retired for the day here. The final qualification round for Supercar Lights is away. Ben Philip Gundersen there on pole position, takes the start once again, but also a great start on the outside there for car number 91, Nicholas Arneklev. Ben Philip making a last-minute decision to go into the Joker lap there, and he's followed by Sondre Evjen and Thomas Holman, who seem to come together a little bit on the exit of the Joker. Sondre Evjen headed into the outside of the track there. And here we see Ben Philip slowing down. He's being passed by Nicholas Arneklev, who gets a half spin, who gets hit then by Simon Olofsson. So quite a bit of drama there in the final corner. But Ben Philip manages to get out ahead, even with a puncture there on the rear left. He wins the race, but does not get the quickest time. Over to the second race. Jimmy Valfridsson is out in front there into the first corner. And there is a big fight with Norso. Jimmy Valfridsson is also involved there, but it is Jimmy Valfridsson who takes the flag in front of Norso and Michelak. Over to the final race. It's Linus Östlund on the outside there, who has a DNF from Q3, who gets a great start. Has a clean race in Q4 and goes on to top the charts in Q4. Fastest time then from this guy right here, Linus Östlund. And these are the intermediate standings after all the qualifying heats have been driven. Ben Philip Gundersen up at the top, followed by Linus Östlund, Petter Norso in third, Mats Oskarsson in fourth, and Jimmy Valfridsson there in fifth. This is what the championship looks like so far. Ben Philip Gundersen, he continues to dominate up at the top there, followed by Linus Östlund, Sondre Evjen down in third position now, Thomas Holman in fourth, and Jimmy Valfridsson in fifth.
Det kan jag säga om det så jag hör att det är rudd i bilen idag. Så att det vill vi inte övertala så. Jag trodde liksom idag, varför jag säger det bara för någon vecka sedan som jag var ute för det. Men jag trodde idag, så alldeles upplysta, så om man skaffar sig en hund idag då vet man att man inte lämnar den i bilen. Om man har bagageluckan på bigavel kanske, ja det kan bli varmt.
My name is Ulrik Lindemann, and what we have here is a real supercar. The engine is a custom engine from Olsberg's MSE. It's a 2-liter engine, turbocharged. We have 3.6 bar pressure, so it's quite a lot, and it gives 600 horsepower and 900 newton meters with some help from the Garrett turbo. We have a big intercooler in the front. The radiator for the engine we have in the rear of the car, because it's cooling much more when we have it in rear, then we can have a bigger radiator. The big intercooler makes the intake air really cold, so which gives us a little bit more power as well. What's most impressive about the supercar is engine is the anti-lag system, which keeps the turbo pressure up. It puts air and fuel into the exhaust, and it gives some nice noise as well, and keeps the pressure from the turbo up. So when we are on the throttle, then the engine is ready. Here we have the suspension and the brakes, and the suspension is not similar to the rest of the supercars because we have inboard suspension. We have a push rod here, and then we have the damper inside the car. It gives some more weight to the middle and down to the bottom of the car. So which we think is better. We have double wishbone, which is arms top and rear, top and down. And the brakes needs to be big because we have so much power, so yeah. Now we're inside the supercar, and as I talk about the anti-lag system, I have here, and I can control the system here, which I can change it to more aggressive or more calm if I need it. And here I have to turn on the anti-lag system on the start line. And on the start line, I put the anti-lag system on, then I have the launch bottom here. I hold the handbrake and put some pressure on the clutch, and then I release the bottom, this launch bottom and the clutch and the handbrakes on the same time. So I have to be ready for the green, and then I let the power get into the wheels and go off the start line. And from 0 to 100 is about 2 seconds in a supercar, so that's really impressive.
So as we look forward to semi-finals in Supercar Lights, Kevin, we're going to talk through all of these points that you can get throughout a race system. So we have a graphic for you here, and Kevin is going to talk you through how it works.
So basically we have 4 qualifying heats where you always compete about points. The winner of the first heat, who has the quickest time, gets 50 points. Is 45, 40, 39, 38 and so on and so on. These points are not for the championship, but after the 4 heats, all these points that you gather makes, up to a total points, and whoever has the most total points after 4 heats will be awarded with the 16 championship points. So basically, whoever has the best of the first 4 heats, who get more points, he gets 16 points. The second guy gets 15, 14, and so on, just going down. Which is, so basically you can have one bad heat and still be able to win. That's what I like with the system, because it's really, really tricky to be able to do that.
And then we move on to the semi-finals.
Yeah, for sure. The semi is basically pretty easy. It's 6 cars. Whoever crosses the finish line first gets 6 points, 5 to the second one, and so on. And the last guy gets 1 point. So you still get points, even if you DNF or something in the semi as well.
And then, of course, we have points for the final.
Yeah, and it's only one thing different really in the final, is that the winner is awarded a bit more points. The winner gets 8 points instead of 6 that you get in the semi. So the winner in the final gets 8, the second position guy gets 5. So you get a 3 points gap really to the second guy, which is to really award the person who wins the race. Because with this system, as we say, in theory, it can't, it won't really be the guy that is always the winner that gets the most points in the end. So it's really important to have a good qualification heat.
We are getting down to the business end of this race weekend. It is semi-final 1, Supercar Lights, and the black car on the inside there is, of course, the dominating man all weekend, Ben-Philip Gundersen. Next to him is Petter Nosso on the second row, Jimmy Valfridsson. Next to him, Thomas Holman, Sondre Evjen, and Niklas Arneklev on the back row. Ready to race, lights are on. We're waiting for the green light. There it is, and it is a good start, but what's happening here? We have Ben-Philip Gundersen out in front, as he has been doing all weekend, and then we have contact at the back there. Talk us through that, Kevin.
He got a small tap from Evjen in the left rear, and it made him go straight into the curbs with the right front tire, and it just sucked him into the sand trap, and he did a 360. Really bad luck for Jimmy.
What we can see from our position here is that Jimmy is getting going again, but the rules are in the semi-final. It is the top 3 finishing cars that will go to the final. So Jimmy, he kind of has to pray for somebody to have problems here, because it's going to be difficult for him to catch the field in only 5 laps.
Yeah, we're seeing Gundersen now with the gap he wants. He can start to drive his own line. He don't need to be defensive. As we see, Nosha has to be, because Olman is all over the rear of him.
Ben-Philip Gundersen out in front, lives only a couple of kilometers from this track. A lot of prestige for Ben-Philip this weekend. to perform well, but he has won the last 2 races in a row, both in Denmark and in Riga. He is really in top form, Ben Philip, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's the best at the moment in RallyX Nordic Super Lights. He's the one that everyone wants to beat. They're hunting him really hard, and this is what makes you a better driver. Also for Ben Philip to be able to maintain this pressure that he gets all the time, and he does it really, really well.
He certainly does. And another local driver is the car in 3rd position at the moment, which is Thomas Holman. I asked Ben Philip earlier, I said, so, why is Thomas not quite at your level? Because it's also his home track. And he said, nah, maybe he's not been training enough. So it's clear that preparation is key, and Ben Philip certainly has prepared himself well this weekend. But if everything goes right, the other local driver, Thomas Holman, could be looking at a place in the final today.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas is currently P3, but I see Sondre Evjen at P5. He's already taken the York lap. He is actually catching. So it starts to look pretty bad for Holman at this time.
So we have 2 of the top 3 championship contenders in this race. One of them is right at the front, Ben Philip Gundersen. One of them is closer to the back, but as Kevin just mentioned, he has been in the Joker lap. So it'll be interesting to see where he slots in. And there's a close Joker merge there for Sondre Evjen and Thomas Holman. And Thomas gets a hit from behind from Sondre. It is the 2 Norwegians battling it out here for a spot in the final. No mercy, is it, Kevin?
No, and this could really play into the hands of Anneklem, who is P3, and if these guys start to really fight and lose time, this could be the open door to Anneklem to the final.
Wow, Sondre just showing himself left and right, trying to get on the inside, outside, wherever he can, because this is what it's all about. There isn't much to go with racing today, and if you want a spot in the final, you have to fight for it.
Yeah, for sure. This is the last couple of corners. Evjen needs to get past. And basically, it's only 1 corner left before finish flag. So I think Holman will be able to secure this 3rd
That's
position.
a checkered flag for Ben Philip Gundersen. He's in the final, followed by Petter Nosov. And that was a side-by-side with Evjen and Holman. Was it Evjen?
Evjen got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
By 7/100ths of a second.
By 7/100ths of a second. You've seen it right here. What a battle, what a fight. It was like I was talking about. If you want that position in the final, you have to fight for it. And that's exactly what Sondre Evjen just has done. Very impressive. And let's have a look at the race again. It was another dominant, good start from Ben Philip Gundersen. And some nice racing, but problems there for Jimmy Valfridsson. It was just a small touch, wasn't it? But it took it completely out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at these speeds that you get up there, a small tap makes a big, big difference. So he couldn't really control it when he got hit.
But Ben Philip, quite dominant there, out in front, no problems for him. The biggest fight was, of course, between Thomas Holman and Sondre Evjen, who we see here merge at the Joker lap. And then we see Thomas getting a bit of a push from Sondre Evjen. And from that point on till the end of the race, they were pushing each other. And it was just so close over that finish line. A great fight between the 2 Norwegians, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. They were battling hard but fair. And it's going to be really interesting to see really what happened with Holman, because in my eyes, it's not really possible to make a pass there. It's more...
But it did, of course, go to Sondre Evjen, and we're going to hear now from Ben Philip Gundersen. Sorry, interview with Evjen.
Sondre, that was pretty close with Thomas at the end there.
Yeah, it was really, really close. I broke the rear suspension in the first corner, so I was struggling so much with the handling of the car, but in the end, I think he had a problem too, because he was faster during the weekend, so yeah, but I think it was maybe 100 or so.
And on to the final now?
Yes, I needed this for the championship, so we'll see. Ben Philip is getting a good gap now, but 5 more laps to go now, so we'll see what we can do.
Good luck.
Like Sondre mentions, very important there for the championship. Let's have a look in slow-mo now. This finish line between Holman and Evjen. What a move there from Evjen on the inside, just nicely over the curb and first over the finish line. Well done. over to the second semi-final, and in pole position after somewhat of an up and down day is Linus Östlund. Next to him, Mats Oskarsson on the second row, Anders Michalak next to him, Simon Olofsson, and the back row is Hans Olaf Röshaug and Lars-Erik Haug. And looks like there's a thumbs up there from the marshals. Drivers are ready to go. It's over 30 degrees out here. It's much warmer inside of those cars, and they have to stay super focused to get themselves into the final here of round 5 RallyX Nordic. We wait for the ready to race. There it is, and it's the green light. There is the green light, and they are off the line.
It's a good start by Olofsson on the outside.
Definitely is. Oh, and gives Linus a push there up at the front. 3 car wide up at the top there.
And they open up for Fröshaug from the back row. Fröshaug.
Wow, Fröshaug slots himself into third, but is in contact there with Mats Oskarsson. But it is actually Fröshaug in third. But Linus Östlund, who had a great Q4 after a DNF, is out there in front. Followed by Anders Michalak.
So just as Ben Philip got in the first semi-final, Östlund has this gap that he can start to focus on his own lines now. The same for Michalak, he's not under pressure really either, so they can both be, lose focus forward and go as quick as possible.
Now for every track that we go to, there seems to be a different sort of joker strategy. What is it like at this track? What do you need to think about?
Actually, this track is pretty normal. It's not in the first corner, it's not in the last corner, it's in the middle. That makes it not so, that, it's just when the best possibility is open. Usually when there's a joker in the first corner, you make much more planning before if you want to go to the joker or normal line. But here it's basically more whoever can go first, and if you get caught up behind someone slower.
And for those of you who don't know, every driver here gets to have a spotter. Now, Kevin, talk us through what the spotter does.
The spotter is basically just a help. As a driver, you're strapped in hard with seatbelt, you have neck restraint. You can't really see so much. The rear view mirrors they're small. It's not like a road car. Everything is made for the aerodynamics. So basically, the spotter's job is to keep you informed about what happens behind you, when you should take the joker, if there's accident, red flags, or all those small details. If the track changes, if there's a lot of gravel, all this small stuff that as a driver you only see a tenth before it happens. So it's just like an extra pair of eyes.
And still sometimes the drivers forget to take the joker lap.
For sure, and you always blame the spotter, so you're almost too spoiled as a driver to have a spotter that you kind of forget to think about all the other stuff than just driving. So, but to me, still, if you miss the joker, you still has a responsibility as a driver to remember it as well. So,
of course.
Yeah. But it's always easier to blame the spotter.
As you can see on your screens now, the top left graphic shows who has been into the joker lap. That small yellow arrow there means that they have been in. There are 2 laps to go, and we still have Linus out in front, and there is a big battle for third. That's between Lars-Erik Haug and Mats Oskarsson.
Yes, Oskarsson has already been to the joker, so Oskarsson will for sure get past Haug. And Michalak and Östlund in the joker now, so we'll see where Oskarsson gets out. He gets out of P3, so Oskarsson looks to be on his way to a final.
Certainly does. Here we see Linus Östlund coming round. He's followed by Anders Michalak and Mats Oskarsson, who's going to get himself into the final. Great job there. And Hans Olaf Röshaug just missing out after having a great start to this semi-final, but it does go to Linus Östlund, who is in second position in the championship. He's moved up this weekend. So let's have a look at that start again. A good clean start for Linus Östlund, but also round the outside there, Simon Olofsson putting himself into a 3-way battle.
Yeah, Olofsson, he tried to go around the outside, but he basically just ran out of space. The guys on the inside wasn't slowing down enough for him to get around all the way, and that's what happens sometimes when you really try to go for it around the outside.
Yeah, and I'm sure a bit of a disappointment for Simon Olofsson. He didn't get to the semi-finals in Riga. He had a pretty bad roll and contact with Jimmy Valfridsson, so he doesn't make it to the final, but we will hear from the winner of this semi-final.
Linus, you look like you had that one under control.
Yeah, I took it easy on the last lap because my spotter said I had a good gap, so I stayed calm and did a good race, and I'm very happy.
And how far do you think you can take this? What do you think you can do in the final?
Gundersen is fast here as well. It's his home track, so I will give my everything and give him a match.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So a very happy Östlund there. He, of course, wins this semi-final in front of Anders Michalak and Mats Oskarsson. Hans-Olaf so just missing out there in 4th position. And of course, points have been handed out after the semi-finals. This is what it looks like now in Supercar lights. Ben Philip Gundersen up at the top, dominating all weekend, followed by Linus Östlund, who moved up into 2nd. 3rd is Sondre Evjen, 4th Thomas Holman, and 5th is Jimmy Valfridsson. So that was eventful, but the contenders, I guess we thought were going to the final, are going to the final.
Yeah, for sure. They did the work that had to be done. The only top guy from the championship standing that missed out was Valfridsson, which has been there in the first corner. So sad for him. He will lose a couple of points now and not be able to fight in the final.
And do you think Linus can challenge Ben Philip at his home track?
Ben Philip has looked really strong, and not only here the last couple of races. He's in a good flow. Everything seems to be going his way. But if Linus can steal a start or something like that, it might change. It's easy when you win a lot and you always win the heats. It's easy that you get a bit too comfortable. So if Linus can do something in the start and try to get out in front, it will be interesting. But I have this feeling that if Gundersen gets out, he will have a little bit more pace and be able to take the win.
And we are, of course, waiting now for the Supercar semi-finals here at the track, and I'm sure the drivers and also the spectators here are glad that a couple of clouds have come out to put a bit of shade over the track, cooling it down a bit.
Nei, men du kan vel fortelle om ditt beste motorsportminne? Det er vi nysgjerrig på.
Mitt bästa? Ja. Det jag har sett eller det jag har gjort?
And we should be only moments away. The supercars are on the pre-grid at the moment, getting ready. And we can take you quickly through who is in semi-final 1. Oliver Eriksson in pole with his teammate Ulrik Linnemann next to him. Second row there is Christer Dahlmans, and next to him Andreas Karlsson. And Svein Roger Andersen rounds up the back row of that first semi-final. Now, when you have two teammates next to each other, how do you, what do you say to them before they go out there?
It's really tricky. Like, you have the respect. You need to respect each other. You need to respect all the drivers, but always when there's teammates, it's more. You got to think about the team. That's if you want to drive, if you want to be able to continue, the team needs to like you. And if you take out the teammate, you're not very popular. So for sure, Oliver and Ulrik have discussed, some things, but as well, they both want to win. You can't only leave, gap because it's your teammate. So they gotta race hard but fair, and not really take each other out. That's the main thing.
Ulrik has struggled a little bit to get to the finals, and in Riga he managed and he was in 4th. What do you think he can do today?
He's looked really good. The pace he's had was good. We saw in Q4 here he was leading and got a tap there by Kalikoski, which made him lose a lot of time. So Ulrik he's on it. He wants a good result. He's taking the long step, the long path to Supercar. He's been in Super 1600 a lot of years, and his dream was always to be in Supercar at a high level. And he's showing now that he really belongs up here, and he just need more experience, and that comes by driving as much as possible.
Now we are going to have a look at this track. We have an onboard from Robin Larsen, and you, Kevin, are going to take us through it.
Yes, I will start here with Robin, up to the first corner. The special thing about this track here is that we go to the right on the first lap, but left on the normal laps later. So basically we have a really, really long start lap. That's what we have. So we basically do one extra lap. Downhill, you don't really see the elevation changes at the video, but when I walked this track I was amazed of how much up and down it was. The fastest place on the track here is 150 kilometers per hour. You go down hard, really down, downhill, up again, up the gravel part. They go really sideways here, downhill again, and we come to the Yorker split. The Yorker is to the right, that Robin will take now, and to the left is a normal line. The Yorker is full gravel. Here you can gain time, and the Yorker, when you can both lose and gain time, is what drivers like. So you can really win a race there. And yeah, basically that's it.
So that was a lap with Robin Larsen. And just to mention him, he had some trouble with the throttle. We saw him slowing down in Q3, problems with the throttle. Looks like that sorted itself out. But, Robin, it's been up and down in RallyX Nordic this season.
It's been tough, yeah. There's the level here is really high this year. Good cars, good drivers. Robin has actually been dominating the European Championship, so he possibly thought this would be easier than it was. But as it looks now, it looks like he has more of a fight here than a European RallyCross Championship at the moment. So, but that's what drivers like. You want that kind of fighting, and
definitely.
Jerry, Oliver, and Robin, they are really three guys to look out for.
Certainly are, and you're mentioning also Jari Keliakoski, winner of Q1 here at Flisa, and also having a really great result for the rest of the weekend. We will see him in the second semi-final. But here we see happy spectators who have made their way out on a Sunday to watch a bit of rallycross in the heat. And I know several people in the lunch break we had earlier, they popped down to the river or the lake somewhere close to have a swim and try and cool down, because it is, I guess Scandinavia is showing itself from its best side these days.
Yeah, for sure. We always complain it's too cold,
yeah.
Both in Sweden and Norway. So now we complain it's too warm.
All right, fasten your seatbelts, because we are ready for the semi-final one in the supercar. There we see the two teammates we were talking about earlier on the front row, Oliver Eriksson, Ulrik Linnemann. It'll be very interesting to see if they can be respectful into that first corner. So there is the ready to race light, and we wait for the green light. Semi-final one supercars, there it is, and it's a good start for Ulrik Linnemann. But it's not enough against his teammate. He slots in behind him. That was quite nice and clean, wasn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, nice and clean. And Ulrik's managed to get in behind Oliver, so they're 1-2 now. And they can focus ahead. Karlsson with a great start as well, coming up to P3. So he's been quick, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do there.
Yeah, Oliver already getting himself a bit of a gap. It looks like Ulrik Linnemann's under quite a bit of pressure there from Andreas Karlsson. And also Christer Dahlmans has sort of entered into that battle.
Yeah, we should not forget about Dahlmans. He's, as I said before, he's really surprised me, and the lap times he does is really good. So if he can just pull it off for 5 laps, he's going to be well in contention for the semi-final position.
What's also interesting, I think, looking at this semi-final, we have so many different types of cars. We have the big Honda Civic, we have the Volvo and the Polo, and it's just it's a good mix, isn't it?
Yeah, and on some tracks it's better with a long car or a longer wheelbase, and certain tracks it's better with a short wheelbase. The Honda is one of the longest one we have in the world in supercars, so for sure it's different, and it's actually fitting really well on this track, I must admit. It looks well.
Now I have to say that Ulrik Linnemann does look like he is under pressure there from Andreas Karlsson. The gap between them is very small, as Oliver Eriksson is dominant out in front, got himself a gap of about 2 seconds.
Yeah, we're seeing Oliver pulling away a little bit. It looks very slippery out there. They all slide quite a lot. I see Ulrich is fighting a little bit understeer at the moment there, but it looks anyway like he has quite good control over Karlsson behind him.
Now, even though the top 3 do go forward to the final, it is important what position you finish in the semi-final.
For sure, the semi position you get is basically the starting position for the final. So you want to be as high up as possible as Dahlmans passes Karlsson. So Dahlmans is on the way to a final.
Yeah, and Dahlmans and Karlsson have been into the Joker. So it's in favor of Dahlmans at the moment. They're in front of Karlsson. Great battle between the two of them. But now they are going to be behind Anderson. But he goes into the Joker lap now. And it's clean now in front for Dahlmans and Karlsson. Now, what is going to happen with Ulrich Lindemann? Is he going to be quick enough to keep these 2 drivers behind him?
Yeah, he took his Joker lap now, and now he basically used to maintain this gap. But you don't want to give up too much. You don't want them to get the bumper, their hood in the bumper, because then then you get a feeling that they can't pass you. So you gotta keep good speed anyway, but still be safe and not do any mistakes. As we see Ericsson taking his Joker and is well out ahead, so he can just cruise now to the checkered flag.
So we're only a couple of 100 meters from the finish line, and it's in favor of Oliver Eriksson from the Olsberg MSC team, with his teammate behind him again, Ulrich Lindemann, and Christer Dahlmans in 3rd position.
Ooh. Dahlmans had problem to break there after the checkered flag and went into Lindemann, but...
He was excited.
Yeah, probably. It didn't look too bad though.
So we'll have a look again at the race. A good start there for Oliver Eriksson. Starts haven't always been in his favor this season, so it's great to see him getting quickly off the line there, followed by his teammate Ulrich Lindemann. But unfortunately for Andreas Karlsson, he did not win that battle between him and Christer Dahlmann.
No, Dahlmans did a good job. They were very even. Karlsson did one small mistake, as we see here, and Dahlmans basically got inside and got ahead. So nice move by Christer.
There's just no room for mistakes.
For sure not. And with these cars, it's so easy to make the mistake. They take you very quickly to places you don't want to. So it's more about taming the beast than going quick.
You look pretty comfortable out there at the front, Oliver.
Yeah, I felt good. I got a clean start. Ulrich was with me on the outside, and we could both get out clean. And from there, just try to keep it clean, no mistakes, maybe save some tires as well. So I felt good, and really looking forward to pole in the final now.
You think you can take the fight to Robin and Jette?
Yeah, it's good. I'm pulling a bit now in the championship, and I got the pole in the final now. So just try to keep ahead, and we know it's too early to think about championships. I'm here trying to win races, and right now I have the best position to do it.
Good luck.
So that was Oliver Eriksson, not only going on to win his semi-final, but also thinking about conserving tires for the final, because he knows what he is up against, and what he is up against is what is about to come in semi-final 2 in Supercars, where we have Robin Larsson and Jari Keliakowski. So here we see winner of the first semi-final, Oliver Eriksson, in front of Ulrich Lindemann and Christer Dahlmans in 3rd. Those 3 are going to the final. It's time for semi-final 2, and he was fashionably late to Q4, and then to his semi-final he's fashionably early, I guess we could say. But there is Robin Larsson already ready to go in pole position, and his teammate Mats Öhman next to him. That's pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah. Easy race technique, lockout in the front row. This is all because that Keliakowski did get a penalty from the incident in Q4 together with Lindemann there. So Keliakowski in a bit of trouble starting from P4.
Yeah, he's got a job to do, as Kevin mentioned, excluded from Q4 after that contact with Ulrich Lindemann. But I'm sure he's ready and focused, and he's next to Fredrik Magnusson, who's having his first race of the season here at Flisa. And on the back row is Daniel Turenne, who's had to change an engine this weekend. And it'll be incredibly interesting to see this start. And, you know, can Mats Öhman keep Jari Keliakoski behind him? That's what it's all going to be about.
I think Keliakoski is good enough to, you know, finish P2 in this semi. It will be tough for him to fight with Robin, because Robin will get out first if nothing really happens, and for Jari to come out as second directly is tough. But the pace he has should be enough to be able to make a couple of passes with the help of the Joker.
So as we mentioned earlier, Robin Larsson from Q3 had throttle issues. They are of course fixed, and he is ready for the semi-final, ready to race. Light is on, we wait for the green light, there it is. And it is a good start from Robin Larsson and Jari Keliakoski.
Yeah, interesting. Keliakoski get the second directly.
Straight into second there for Keliakoski. He knows that the job needs to be done to get himself into the final. Keliakoski, who's been on the podium 3 out of 4 rounds this season. Very consistent driver.
It'll be interesting to see now if Keliakoski can be able to keep up with Robin here. They have been very equal at lap times, but it's tough to hunt as well. So far he does a good job.
And how do we compare these two cars, the Audi S1, the Ford Fiesta?
It's 2 XWRX cars. I mean, the car that Robin drives is actually the car that Matthias Ekström won the World Championship with in 2016. So it's a, you know, has a lot of history, but it's also upgraded with new parts from the current World RX S1s that Baku drives. The car that Keliakoski drives is the car that Bamanes has been using in World RX as well. So it's 2 really good cars. And as we see, they are starting to pull away, but Keliakoski is following Larsson good.
Yeah, he's following him in well, and there's a good battle also between Mats Öhman and Fredrik Magnusson. That is, of course, for the spot for the last final spot, and you know, it's a good fight between the two of them.
Yeah, it looks like Öhman and Magnusson is going to be the 2 guys to fight for the 3rd position there and the last spot to the final.
We have also Daniel Turenne rounding out this semi-final, but right up at the front there, Robin Larsson with no problems at all. Jari Keliakoski following him closely, and Mats Öhman still in 3rd as Fredrik Magnusson heads into the Joker lap. Now, Mats really needs to push.
Yeah. As well as Magnusson need a really good lap now, because it looks, from my perspective, Mats is going to take the Joker now to just be safe to get back out in front.
Yeah, because the closer that Fredrik will get to Mads, the less of a chance he has to keep that 3rd position in this race and a ticket to the final. And here he goes, as you said, Kevin, into the Joker lap for Mats Öhman.
Oh, that's a mistake.
Getting stuck in there. What happened?
It looks like he just got a lot of understeer and went straight up to the bank, the gravel bank. Not good for Mats. Now he needs to do a pass on the track, which is tricky.
Now, do you think somebody was shouting on the radio, come on, Mads, you really need to get this, you need to push, and then it's easy to perhaps overdo it a little bit?
It is easy to do it, but from my eyes, it looked like he could have done a safe Joker, so maybe he got stressed, or it was just a small driving mistake. We can't really tell, but really unfortunate, as it looks like he will miss out because of that mistake.
It certainly does, but it is looking like a final place for Fredrik Magnusson as Robin Larsson takes the checkered flag in front of Jari Keliakoski and Fredrik Magnusson there in the Skoda Fabia. So we have a frontline lockout in the final between Robin Larsson and Oliver Eriksson. Whew.
Yeah, so since Oliver will get the pole position because of a better intermediate or a better qualifying position.
So we'll have another look here at the semi-final. Great start there from Robin Larsson, but also, I guess, Jari Keliakoski with the start of the day there, putting himself up into 2nd position, really fighting for that ticket to the final.
It looked like Keliakoski was a bit quicker than Larsson in the beginning, and actually looking at the lap times he was. And at the end, it wasn't really Jerry that lost a lot of time. It was more that Larsson found more time, and the last couple laps he did was really quick. Actually, the quickest I've seen for the day. So Larsson found something at the end of the semi.
Yeah, and then we saw that unfortunate joker lap for Mats Öhman, which put him down into 4th, and no final for him today, unfortunately. That position goes to Fredrik Magnusson.
I love that shot when they come up from into the joker. The wheels, the front wheels are up in the air. So
it was great to hear from Oliver saying how much he liked this track. You know, there's a lot of sideways. You can really go fast here. It's also technical, and yeah, it seems like they're having a lot of fun.
It's very special at the Scandinavian racetracks that the tarmac is also very slippery. You can slide quite a lot.
So these are the points in the overall standings. Oliver Eriksson up at the top, followed by Robin Larsson and Jari Keliakoski in 3rd. 4th is Ulrik Lindemann, and 5th is Andreas Karlsson, who's taken over that 5th position from Philip German.
Jag kan berätta för er i alla fall att under tiden så har jag skrivit lite tider här. Eller tider, lite poäng. Oliver Eriksson tog ju 6 poäng, så han är det fortfarande då på 117 poäng nu. Och 2 är Robin Larsson då, 111. Han tog ju också 6 poäng och går in och vänder 6 poäng.
Hello, my name is Thomas Holman, and this is my Supercar Lights car. As you can see, it's no engine in the front, it's only suspension, and yeah, let's go to the back and we can see more there. So here we got a Ford Durotech 2.4 liter, runs up about 320 horsepower. That makes up a lot of fun on this track. So now we're inside the car, and as you can see here, it's a snap-off steering wheel, so easy to take off if something happens. In the main here we have a main switch button to turn on the all electric, the ignition to turn on the fuel, to turn on the fan and everything, and there we have the starter button. So one click there and the engine runs up. As you can see here, we're covered by the roll cage, so if something happens, we're pretty much safe in all kind of situations. A fire extinguisher, so if I pull this button here now, this button here, if I pull it up, it will start to get snowy in here. So we're pretty much safe in all kind of happenings. That makes us driver feel really comfortable behind the wheel. And yeah, this car itself puts up a lot of fun. And as Petter would have said it, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm ready for the weekend. Let's go.
So Nils Andersson here again. I will teach you a little bit about these cross cars that we're driving. We have a 750 cubic engine from a motorcycle, a Suzuki, which everybody has the same. And we have all the wheels have individual wheel setup with double wishbones. And it's a really lot of power with these small engines. We have 150 brake horsepowers and a lot of traction. We have really much grip in all the corners, and in the results of that, we're almost as fast as the supercars on this track. So this is the office. This is where all the work happens. We have the steering wheel, we have the sequential gearbox from the motorcycle engine, and we have the handbrake. And also, of course, the 3 pedals.
Vi ser vad det är efter den här finalen. Får vi säga ändå att hemmaåkaren här.
So down in the pits here at Flisa, we are with Robin Larsson, who starts from the front row of the final. Now, what sort of things go on between the semi-final and final, Kevin?
It's basically just looking through everything at the car, mainly a lot of suspension, making sure all the bolts are still tight, also looking for leakage of oils, of whatever could be leaking. Also, usually they check that everything regarding the intercooler and turbocharger is okay, so we don't have a leakage there. As we see here, they feel all the pipes and everything, that they're all still tight, because if you have a leakage, you lose a lot of power quickly.
And we can see Ulrik Lindemann here next to his car having a look on his phone. Is he watching us live on some social channel, or is he checking out an onboard lap perhaps? But he is getting ready for the final. It'll be incredibly interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah, for sure. He has, the speed is there, his confidence is there. He got the first final of the year for him last time out in Riga. Now he, looks forward for the podium. So,
I would almost say that turbo is a bit hot to touch, but
it should be, yeah. Usually the mechanics have these special gloves when they work with the turbo, like really thick, so it's really hard to work at the same time, but you need it because, the turbo gets really, really warm.
What's it like being a rallycross mechanic?
Yeah, you get a lot of burn marks on the arms and hands.
Oh dear.
No, but really it's so much adrenaline.
Look at the sweat.
Yeah, since it's really warm here as well. So.
All right, here we go. Last job of the day for these boys. It is the final in supercar lights. I'm pretty nervous up here. I'm sure Kevin's a bit nervous, but nothing compares to what these guys down on the grid are feeling. Ben-Philip Gundersen, we just saw in pole position. Next to him, Linus Östlund, who we see here, who's had a great run this weekend, even though he's had some issues. On the second row, here we have Peter Norså. Starting next to him is Anders Michalak. And the back row there is Mats Oskarsson and Sondre Evjen. Sondre's got a bit of a job to do from the back row there.
For sure. It's really nothing much he can do from there. He just got to wait and be smart and hope that something happens in the first corner that he can kind of sneak through. The pace is there for Sondre. He's just always kind of at the wrong time, or has a small issue, or it's small margins in rallycross.
Very small, and what a fight he put on in the semi-finals against Holman there. Just that move on the inside to get himself a position here in this final of round 5 RallyX Nordic Supercar Lights. It's the final. Ben-Philip Gundersen in pole position there. He's won the last 2 rounds of this championship. Will he go on to take a hat-trick of wins? We are about to find out. It's a thumbs up there from the marshal and the drivers. We're all ready to go. There's the ready to race. We wait for the green light here at Flisa, Norway. There it is. Oh, and it's a good start for Ben-Philip Gundersen yet again, but Linus Östlund is following him very closely into that first corner. What do you think of the start, Kevin?
Very clean so far. Everyone getting out with no problems and no damages. So, yeah, really tight racing.
None of the cars headed in. Oh, of course, they can't on that first lap. Apologies. They have to wait until the second time through to go into the Joker lap.
Important now for Östlund to be able to stay in the bumper of Gundersen, because if you leave him a lot of space, he's really quick. So gotta keep the pressure on him to hopefully have him make a mistake.
But Ben-Philip, really, what a performance he has put on this season, up in front of the championship. But he is being really pushed now by.
I think he have a left rear puncture.
Really?
It looks really strange. I think he has a left rear puncture, the same as he had in Q4. Okay. I'm pretty certain he has that.
It does look like Linus is very, very close. Maybe we can see now in this corner, does he have a puncture on the left? Something doesn't seem to be right there at all, because it is very close. Peter Norså is now, putting on the pressure for Linus.
Yeah, left rear puncture for Gundersen, as we see Östlund now gets out.
Oh, wow. That is your championship leader, the most dominant driver of the weekend. is now moving down the order here. He's been passed by Linus Östlund. He is not giving up without a fight.
But for sure, he can still continue driving. He's not out of the race. Anders Michalak looking to get inside down here, doesn't really get it.
Oh.
Now I think no.
Ben Philipp is really closing the door on these drivers behind him. He is not going to give them an easy chance to get past him. Anders Michalak there's right behind Ben Philipp, and he goes into the Joker lap. Anders Michalak into the Joker lap. Ben Philipp is continuing.
For sure, this opens up the door for Östlund really good. But also Oskarsson. Oskarsson is P3 now and has been to the Joker. Oskarsson is looking for a podium here.
Yeah, Mats Oskarsson in a good position now for a great result here at Flisa. But Ben Philipp is putting up the fight of his career, it looks like, out here. He has a puncture and he is still in a podium position. And there Mats Oskarsson goes past.
Oh yeah, he managed to get out.
And Ben Philipp follows Nosha into the Joker lap.
So we have Östlund with a pretty good gap to Oskarsson. Michalak P3 now.
Wow, Ben Philipp all the way down.
As we go to 1 lap to go.
5th position there for Ben Philipp. What a disappointment. But it is Rallycross, anything can happen. He's had a puncture earlier on today in Q4. And Linus has gone into the Joker lap, as we're on our final lap now. Linus Östlund leads in front of Mats Oskarsson. Michalak there under pressure from Peter Norsor. The checkered flag is out. This race is won by Linus Östlund, his first win of the season, followed by Mats Oskarsson and Anders Michalak.
See Östlund doing nice donuts.
That is going to be one happy driver taking his first win of the season. Let's have a look at this final again. Great start there from Ben Philipp, but where did he get this puncture?
It's down here, you know, now they go straight to first lap, but the next lap when they go down there, he hit some kind of hole or something as he went to the gravel. I saw it happen. I was thinking, oh, like here, he goes down, and right here somewhere. It must happen.
I'm very interested to see what this does with the championship, because Linus moved up into second after the qualifyings. You know, we have Sondre here with not a great result, and Ben Philipp. Well, we have Ben Philipp and Sondre in 5th and 6th position in the final. It's going to be very close.
Yeah, for sure. Östlund cashes a couple of points to Gundersen. Gundersen had quite a big lead, so I think he's still going to lead, but for sure it's much tighter than he would have liked it to be.
Oh, the margins are so small. You know, you dominated all weekend on your home track, and then, you know, it's down to the smallest of margins. A small puncture puts you down to the back of the field, and we are going to hear from the winner here in Flisa.
Well, Linus, you just beat the local specialist round here.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I can't believe this. It's amazing. Such luck. He's got a puncture on the second lap, and I just keep it cool and made it to the goal, and I'm so happy.
And that's your first win of this season as well.
I can't believe it. I'm so happy.
And you've had very consistent results the rest of the year. It's going to be good news for the championship.
Yeah, wonderful news for the championship, and I love it. Thank you all supporters and all sponsors and everybody who's helping me, all Spurs MSC. I'm so happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is a very happy driver, and we're not actually far from his home. You know, he comes from Sysselbäck, which is somewhere here in the Finnskog.
Yeah, he had 40 minutes here, he told me, so it's basically his home race as well. Holiest and here is just as close. If I don't mistake, I think this is Linus' first ever Rallycross win.
Really?
Even, like, he's a 7-time Swedish championship in cross car, but yeah, I'm pretty certain this is his first Rallycross win.
And there is proof of our winner here in Flisa, Linus Östlund, stopping the dominant Ben Philipp from winning yet again. Second, a great result for Mats Oskarsson, and also Anders Michalak making it up onto the podium here. And as we can see down at the bottom, both Ben Philipp Gundersen and Sondre Evjen. Here we see the overall standings still being led by Ben Philip Gundersen, followed by Linus Östlund. 10 points separate the two of them. Sondre Evjen in third, Thomas Holman in fourth, and fifth, Anders Mischlek.
Vi ska väl se hur man kan göra. Bredvid sig har han den hårt jagande då. Nummer 4, Robin Larsson, PNS. Ja, det kommer bli hur tufft som helst för allihopa. JC Racing sticker framför. Och så har vi då dansken, Lineman, som står där bakom med de här stora rattarna på den kraften. Och sen ser vi prisligan använder till en Granikoski. Den här är då Granikoski mot en fort med sin fiesta. Och vi har längst bakom nummer 9. Christer Dahlman kör. Sen Fredrik Magnusson också längst bak. Här kommer det bli högt spännande, ska jag säga. Ja, vi har ju varit inne på det nu också att tajta till mästerskapet. Det är så att Erik leder alltså med
So the very last thing to happen today is the supercar final, and here we see our pole sitter Oliver Eriksson. He's already taken 2 wins this year, both in Hørjes and in Nysum in Denmark. Next to him is Robin Larsen, the two of them really in a big fight for this year's championship. It's going to be a heart-in-mouth moment, I think, when the green light goes for this final. Second row is Ulrik Lindemann. Next to him is Jari Keliakoski. Also championship, fighters, contenders, needing all the points they can get. And the back row has got Krista Dahlmans and Fredrik Magnusson. Krista only has done the Hørjes round 1 and 2 of this season in RallyX Nordic. It's very impressive to see him in this final. And next to him, Fredrik Magnusson, who has his first race in RallyX Nordic this season, made it to the final. So great job of both these two drivers. It'd be great to see what they can do in the final. But yeah, if that can happen in the Supercar Lights final, Kevin, I think anything can happen here.
For sure, yeah. You should never count away anyone on the start grid. For sure, Oliver and Robin are the two guys that looks, to be fighting for the win. But you gotta be on it all the time.
So the two on the front row, they have wins each this year. Jari Keliakoski, he's been in the podium 3 out of 4 rounds this year. Ulrik Lindemann had a best of the season so far in Riga with a 4th position. So there's some hungry drivers on that start grid right now as we are ready for the Supercar final here in Flisa, Norway, round 5, ready to race, light is on. That was a long wait for the green light, but it is off, and it was a terrible start for Ulrik Lindemann, and it is a 2-car fight with Robin Larsen and Oliver Eriksson, and somebody is going to get caught out there, and that was Robin Larsen.
Larsen went really well out there. He lost the positions to Dahlmans as well. Lindemann bagged the start and barely got away without restarting the car.
Wow, so we see plenty of drama off the start line of this final, but it is being led by Oliver Eriksson, Jari Keliakoski, and Krista Dahlmans in 3rd position from the back row there.
Keliakoski, we know he's quick. He's in 2nd position now, keeping up well with Oliver Eriksson, so no time for Oliver to relax.
Keliakoski's, he's been on the podium, he's had 3rd places this season, he's had 2nd place this season. He is ready for a win. Is he going to be able to put enough pressure on Oliver Eriksson to perhaps secure this? And look at Robin Larsen and Krista Dahlmans, but Krista Dahlmans will not give up without a fight.
Yeah, Robin looks a bit quicker than Christer, but Christer is keeping up well with these guys, I must admit. So.
Yeah, Christer, like I mentioned, only did round 1 and 2 this season so far in RallyX Nordic, and he is here fighting for a podium position. Robin Larsson into the Joker lap, as the top 3 remain the same for now, with 4 laps to go. Very, very unfortunate there for Ulrik Lindemann in the start. What do you think happened, Kevin?
Probably just one setting too low at the launch, and the grip level maybe went up a little bit, so he... Oh, small mistake there from Ericsson. Kaliakowski catch back up.
Kaliakowski, you wouldn't even fit a person between that car. It is so close between them.
Kaliakowski, you know, as you said, he's been on the podium, but he hasn't got the win yet, so he's desperately fighting to get a win.
Certainly is. Oliver Eriksson here in supercars, but he otherwise dominates the RX2 category in the World Championship. But here he's under great pressure from Jari Kaliakowski for the win here in Flisa, Norway.
Kaliakowski went to the Yorkie there. So yeah, Kaliakowski need a good lap now, and Ericsson don't need any mistakes to be able to stay out in front. So yeah, and Larsson is catching up to Kaliakowski as well, so this will be a very tight finish.
It will be very tight.
So both Ericsson and Dahlman should go for the Yorkie lap now.
So the 2 cars in front, Oliver Eriksson, Christer Dahlmans, they have not been into the Joker. There goes Oliver Eriksson.
I think Eriksson should
Christer
be...
Dahlmans.
Oh, Larsson with a pass on Kaliakowski.
Oh, great pass there from Robin Larsson. What a move on Kaliakowski.
Eriksson has this. It's just a couple corners left. He should just be able to take it home.
So that is a fantastic win again for Oliver Eriksson, followed by Robin Larsson, and Jari Kaliakowski slots himself into 3rd. Christer Dahlmans 4th, Ulrik Lindemann unfortunately down in 5th, and Fredrik Magnusson in 6th. And you know, we have to talk about it, Kevin, because your brother just won the race.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy for him. He did a good race. Larsson here tries to go around the outside, and Oliver went also for it. So just a race incident there.
Another great result for Oliver Eriksson, taking his 3rd win of the season in RallyX Nordic here from Flisa, Norway. And he was just talking about how much he enjoyed this track, and that's also contributed, I'm sure, to getting the win today. Is just having a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. The drivers I've spoken to, they all, you know, thought that the track was a lot of fun.
And
it almost looks like Kaliakowski makes some mistakes, which makes Larsson pass him. So
I'm sure the pressure was high there from Robin Larsson. There is a huge fight for this championship at the moment, and it's no mercy from these drivers. They will try anything. So that was the supercar final, which was won by Oliver Eriksson, the Olsberg MSC driver, in front of Robin Larsson and Jari Kaliakowski, the championship contenders, on the podium. And here Oliver has arrived at the podium area, taking another win this season. This is his spotter, right?
no, that's his main mechanic.
His main mechanic.
The crew chief. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, our father is the spotter for all.
Yes.
His father, my father, yeah. Stefan, who is a technical engineer of the whole OMC team, you know, doing all the updates and all of that stuff for OMC.
Yes. It's not just an Oliver win, it's a team win. So many people involved.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're kind of a family team, but you know, even though the mechanics that we want to have is the kind of guys that, you know, you can kind of say is your family as well. So that's the goal we have.
So much hard work goes into this guy managing to step up onto that top spot of the podium once again this season. And that's Mama.
Yeah, man. She's a chef, so she don't really see the races because she's always in the kitchen.
She's too nervous, huh?
Yeah, that also. So I think she wants to be the chef to have an excuse to not look at the races.
That's another win for you in 2019?
Yeah, it feels great, man. I won more than half the races now, so it feels incredibly good, you know. It was tough out there, you know. I turned one, Robin, tried outside a bit, but you know, I was never gonna let that go. So I was a bit tough, but you know, I got my inside, could go from there, and I did some small mistakes. I was honestly a bit nervous to not make my marks, but in the end it was enough, and I'm so happy.
And everything was going on behind you in that race, but you kept it cool?
Yeah, I don't know really what happened behind. You know, my spotter just told me keep it clean, keep it tight, just do your thing, and yeah, it worked out. And yeah, first over the finish, and yeah, good championship point, and I'm just so pleased.
You extend your lead in the championship as well?
Yeah, almost. So it feels great. You know, 2 events left, so it's long way to drive still, but you know, being ahead it's really good. So I really enjoy that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
He does extend his lead. Oliver Eriksson at the top of the supercar official standings with 125 points. Robin Larsson in second. In third, Jari Kalliokoski, Ulrik Lindemann in fourth, and Andreas Karlsson in fifth.
Well, Robin, that looked like a tough race for you. What happened at the start there?
I just had the outside to go, and yeah, it didn't work. Then I get wide and went out as fourth or something, and was stuck behind Dahlmans for 3 or 4 laps, I don't know, but 4 laps too long. So yeah, I couldn't catch the other guys, but yeah, I wanted to fight Oliver because we had the speed, so I think we could have out-jokered him, but yeah, they were too far behind, too far.
And you got past Kalliokoski on the last lap?
Yeah, like I said, we had the pace, but I think it was of course it was a start now, but we wouldn't have the struggle in the Q3 with the throttle. We would have the inside, so we don't have the margins on our side, but we have the speed, and the championship lead is still some points away, but we take it to Finland.
On to Finland, good luck. So Jere, that's another podium for you in 2019. You must be happy with that?
Yes, little disappointment, but yes, I am happy.
A difficult last lap with a battle with Robin as well?
Yes, I take one mistake. Last lap, and Robin overtake me.
So another podium is good, consistent points for the championship again?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed there, Jari Kalliokoski, who drops from second to third in the championship. But, you know, it's like George mentioned, he's been so consistent. He's been good all season, good points. But Oliver Eriksson, wow, extending his lead.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. He got a maximum points from this race, which is, you know, what all these guys are looking for. It's not easy. Everyone is, you know, trying to not let you do that. So good work from him. And looking at the speed in the final, they are all really tight. It's just hundreds of a second between those 3 guys. So it's the start that is the key.
So as we see the Supercar drivers up there on the podium, this is the calendar down in the left corner. We have finished round 5 here in Norway. We head to Kouvola, Finland next, the 25th of August. And of course the last round in Sweden, Tierp, the 22nd of September. Thank you so much for joining us.